Pete here, and today I wanted to talk about how to play Bergen raises. And today what we're going to cover is sort of how good I think they are and breaking that down into a few different aspects. And then we'll look at what the raises are, what are your actual bids, and what you actually give up to actually use this convention. And then we'll look at some of the continuations and talk about that. So first of all, how good are they / what do you give up to play Bergen raises? So for this, I like to break it into complexity, cost, and accuracy. So Bergen raises, I would say, are reasonably complex for a style of raises. There's lots of different bids that you can use, so it's a bit of memory work there. So I would give it a 2 out of 5 for how complex it is. Cost. What are the drawbacks for doing this? Not often people talk about the different drawbacks of different conventions, and what are you giving up to do this is what cost is. And because Bergen raises use quite a few different bids, I actually would give this a 2 out of 5 for cost. But probably the major aspect here that you want to focus on is accuracy. How good are they for being accurate to finding the right spot for what you actually want to do? And I'd say Bergen raises are pretty good on this aspect. I'd give them a 4 out of 5 for that. So that's how I'd break down roughly what it is. We're going to delve more into what the costs are, what the complexity are, what bids are, and why I think it's reasonably accurate. But let's look at what the actual bids are. So when thinking about raises, what I like to do is I break up the different raises I've got into, do I have 3 card support for my partner's major, 4 card support for my partner's major, or 5 card support for my partner's major? And then also break it up into, am I really, really weak? Do I have normal responding points? Am I invitational? Am I minimum game force? Or am I like nearly slam drying? So I like to break that up and look at the different bids that you've actually got for those. So we'll have a look at that. So in Bergen raises, here what we've got, as I said, broken up 0 to 5 points, 6 to 9, 10 to 12, 13, 15, and 16 plus. So with Bergen raises, basically, if you've got 3 card support, we'll just work our way through that. If you're really weak, you just pass. If you've got 6 to 9 points though, you just raise your 1 major to 2 major. And if you've got 10 to 12 points, this is a bit different. The normal way to play Bergen raises would have you bid 1 no trump forcing. Now I don't really like 1 no trump forcing, so another sort of adaptation that you can do is jump to the other major. So if you open 1 spade, you can jump to 3 hearts to show 3 card 10 to 12 points. If you open 1 heart, you can jump to 2 spades, showing 10 to 12 points with a 3 card support. This has its drawbacks too. I'll touch on that more later, but I don't really like forcing 1 no trump, but the typical one way you play Bergen would be to put your 3 card 10 to 12 raise into a forcing 1 no trump. So if you're going to play Bergen raises, make sure you actually discuss this point with your partner. How do you show this 3 card raise? Then if you've got 13 to 15 points with 3 card support, there's a couple of different things you can do. Firstly, if you're really balanced, like 4 triple 3, you can just bid 1 major, 3 no trumps, and this is just a choice of games. Or if you're unbalanced with 3 card support, or just not 4 triple 3, and you definitely want to play in 4 of the major, what you do is you start by making a game forcing bid. So you bid at the 2 level, and then you show your 3 card support later. This is called a delayed raise. Putting the 3 card support invite through forcing 1 no trump is also a delayed raise. Delayed raises aren't like, there's a drawback to doing them, so I like to try and show support straight away, because sometimes it can get tangled up if you do delayed support. But if you've got game forcing values, I think it works a bit better than if you've got invitational values. So I don't mind it too much when you've got game forcing 3 card support, but delayed raises are a bit awkward. So when possible, I really like to try and support straight away. And in Bergen raises, if you've got 3 card support and sort of slamish values or slam interest, again, you do a delayed raise and bid 2 of a new suit. Okay, so they're all the 3 card ones. We'll give some examples. We'll look at this more. I'm just giving a quick run through of what all the bids are, so don't worry, you can always come back to this and look at it again. So if you've got 4 card support, Bergen raises are sort of designed around being able to differentiate your trump support, which is based really on the law of total tricks. And if you've got 9 9 card fit, it really wants you to try and get to the 3 level pretty quickly. So what it has is, if you've got 0 to 5 points and a really weak hand, you can actually bid 3 majors. So like 1 heart, 3 hearts, or 1 spade, 3 spades. And this is a really just preemptive raise and jam up the opponents. So quite a useful bid, which other raises don't actually have this one available. If you've got 6 to 9 points with 4 card support, what you can actually do is jump to 3 clubs. So this is an alertable bid. So 1 heart, 3 clubs, or 1 spade, 3 clubs. Says, partner, I've got 4 card support and 6 to 9 points. Whereas if you're invitational, you can jump to 3 diamonds. So 1 spade, 3 diamonds, or 1 heart, 3 diamonds, 4 card support, invitational values. And if you're game forcing with 4 card support or more, what you can do is you can bid a Jacoby 2 no trumps. So 1 of a major, 2 no trumps. This says I've got a game forcing hand with 4 card support. So anytime you've got 13 or more points, whether it's 13 or if it's 20, you'd go through Jacoby 2 no trumps first and find out some more information. And you can have some quite detailed responses to that. I'll talk you through the basic responses to Jacoby 2 no trumps today, but there are other options available that I'll talk about some other time. With 5 card support, if you're less than 9 points, you can just jump to 4 of a major. So 1 major, 4 major. Usually this would show 5 card support and a singleton, but I really differentiate this based on vulnerability. If I'm not vulnerable, I will just bid 1 major, 4 major, even if I don't have that singleton. Whereas if I'm vulnerable, I'd want 5 card support and a singleton somewhere before I bid 1 major, 4 major. If I'm not happy to bid 4 major, I'd tend to treat it the same way as I'd bid the 4 card support there. And everything higher than that, so if you're 10 to 12, you would just bid 3 diamonds, the same as 4 card support. You might choose to game force with it later, it's a bit weird. Or if you have a game forcing hand with 5 card support, you can start with 2 no trumps. So they're all of the raises. There's a lot there. As I mentioned, Bergen raises has a fair bit of complexity. There's lots of different bids there that you want to try and untangle. But basically, Bergen raises tries to separate as best as possible 3 card, 4 card, and 5 card support, and also all the different point ranges until you sort of get to sort of 13, like game forcing or better, and then that just jams it into a 2 no trump bid, and hopefully you can untangle it from the other end afterwards. So they try and use the depth of support, so it really values having 4 card support compared to 3 card support. And 4 card supports, knowing you've got a 9 card fit really helps you try and bid pushy games and other benefits like that. And if you're trying to stop in a part score, having a 9 card support, 9 card fit is a good thing. The law of total tricks will suggest that this is a safe spot to actually be playing. So let's jump in and look at some example hands of how we'd actually bid this, and then we'll talk about what we give up and also some continuations. So jumping in, what we do is, so looking at those options again, first of all, if you've got 3 card support and 6 to 9, you just bid 2 of a major. This, no matter what your raises are, nearly all the time, this is what they will do. So here, nice easy 1 spade, 2 spade bid. If we then look at 4 card support with 6 to 9 points, if our partner opens 1 spade, what we want to do, playing Bergen raises, is we want to jump to 3 clubs. So 6 to 9 points and 4 card support. We're forcing to the 3 level when we do this. And if we have 5 card support with 6 to 9 points, usually I'd just bid 1 spade, 4 spades. If you want to value this particular hand stronger, you could treat this as 10 to 12. But if you wanted to treat this as 0 to 9 points with 5 card support, you can bid 1 spade, 4 spades. Next thing we wanted to look at is 3 card support with 10 to 12 points. So we've got invitational values. So here, the traditional way of doing this is you would put this into a forcing 1 no trump if you're playing 2 over 1. So you'd bid 1 no trump, and then partner would bid something. So usually they might bid 2 of a minor, or they might bid 2 majors. So let's say they bid 2 clubs. We could then jump to 3 spades, and this would say partner, I have 3 card support with 10 to 12 points there. So this is the traditional way of doing it. I don't really like the forcing one no trump. I like the ability to pass it. I think that helps in certain ways, and I don't really like the delayed raise that often, and it can get awkward whenever partner sort of bids 2 spades. You might want to just bid 3 spades, which partner doesn't know if you've got 2 cards or 3 cards. Minor issue there. But this is the traditional way that you can show 3 card support in Bergen raises. What I like to do is give up the jump to the other major. So if it's 1 spade, if you bid 3 hearts, or if it's 1 heart, you bid 2 spades, then what I like that to be is 3 card support with 10 to 12 points. If you have 4 card support with 10 to 12 points, what you can do is bid 3 diamonds. So here, if you jump to 3 diamonds over one of a major opening, it says, partner, I've got 4 card support, 10 to 12 points. 4 triple threes, I sometimes just treat them as 3 card support, just because it's so flat. So you do have some judgment here. You don't always have to be strict on this, but 3 diamonds would show 4 card support, 10 to 12 points. Here, if you are game forcing with 4 card support, what you want to do is bid Jacoby 2 no trumps. So here, 2 no trumps says 4 card support, 12 or more points, or 13 or more points, whatever you want to consider a game forcing hand with 4 card support. So this is what you can do here. If we're even stronger, so here we've got 16 points. Again, this will just go through Jacoby 2 no trumps. So we can bid 2 no trumps here, saying game forcing values 12 or like 13 plus 4 card support. We'll try and show our values later if partner shows some interest in slam there. If we're 3 card support and we've got a game forcing hand, what you usually want to do is start with bidding a new suit at the 2 level. This is really simple. If you're playing 2 over 1, you've set up a game force. If you're still playing standard, you can still do this method. What you'll do later is maybe partner bids 2 no trumps or 2 spades, and then we just bid our support here at the 3 level. So you want to show your 3 card support by starting with a 2 level bid. If you're playing 2 over 1, you just support partner at the lowest possible level. If you're playing standard, you would probably have to support your partner at the 3 level, and this would say, partner, I've got game forcing values with 3 card support here. So this is how you can show a 3 card game forcing hand. And if you're even stronger, again, it's going to be the same. So we can start by bidding our best suit at the 2 level. And then if partner goes like this, we can then bid 3 spades, saying, partner, I've got 3 card support and a game forcing hand. So they're all the different raises that you can actually do in Bergen. So we've talked about 3 and 4 and 5 card support, and also all the different point ranges from 0 up to sort of slam tries and how we can break them up. So what do you give up by playing Bergen? What bids have you, what's the cost that we have? So when partner opens a spade, what we've given up is we've given up 2 no trumps and 3 no trumps as different raises. Now, these are very minimal cost. It's very rare that, if you weren't playing this, I don't use 2 no trumps or 3 no trumps that often, because with 10 to 12 points, you can find another bid, or 13 to 15 points without a fit, you can find another bid and show that later. So the cost of 2 no trumps and 3 no trumps, giving them up as your initial responses to one of a major, that's a very low cost. Bidding the other suits, so jumping to all the other suits, this is a cost. You can either different partnerships can use these for whatever you like. You can have them either as game forcing or invitational bids, or if you wanted to, weak bids. It's pretty rare that you'd have weak jump shifts to the 3 level, but you are giving up these options. So Bergen uses a whole range of different bids, and the cost of that is reasonably high. You do open yourself up to more lead directing bids or giving the opponents more space because there's more artificial bids that they can freely double. So all of those bids, there is a cost. Do you have a good use for those other bids? Are you using them? That's what you want to weigh up. I very rarely jump to 3 of a major to show a strong hand, or like in BBO they use them as the invites, like 6-card invitational hands. These are a bit awkward. The cost of that is real, but how much do you win by using them? It's hard to judge. That's what you sort of want to weigh up there. So that's what you give up by playing Bergen Raisers. So there's reasonable complexity because there's a fair different amount of bids that you want to understand and remember. But once you've learnt it, it's not too bad. The cost, there is a cost there. I wanted to highlight that those bids, it takes up a lot of different bids that you could use for other purposes. But I find the accuracy is quite high by being able to show the different length trumps. I find that's quite good value there. So let's now look at some continuations. Okay, so looking at these hands that partner bid before, so if it goes 1 spade pass, and here we've got 3 card support with 6 to 9 points. We can just bid 2 spades on this hand. And here, what are partner's continuations? So after 1 major, 2 major, I like to just have long suit trials or help suit trials. So if partner bids, say, a new suit at the 3 level, this would just say, partner, I've got at least 3 cards here, and I want you to have help in this suit for me. So are you minimum or maximum? And are your values located in here? So even though we've got a minimum hand, we've got some help for partners, 3 diamond suits, so you might accept game on this one. So new suits are long suit trials after 1 major, 2 major. With 4 card support and 6 to 9 points, so here we can jump to 3 clubs to show this hand. And partners' responses to this is 3 spades is just a sign-off. If they bid 3 diamonds, this is sort of just a generic game try. We don't have all the space to make long suit trials, but 3 diamonds and 3 hearts are also game tries. 3 hearts would be a bit more natural, saying like I got 5 spades and 4 hearts. 3 diamonds is just, hey, do you want to go to game or not? If partner had opened 1 heart and we bid this, there's only 1 bid between 3 of a major and 3 clubs, and 3 diamonds would be your only game try there. Anything beyond 3 of our majors, so let's say partner bid 4 clubs, this would just be a Q bid showing first round control, or if you play them, first and second round controls. So here we have 5 card support. So if this one went 1 spade, 4 spades, partner could either Q bid sort of first round controls at the 5 level, or just bid Roman key card. Not a lot of space here, but this bid's pretty preemptive, so I might not do it on this particular hand, but usually 0 to 9 points you can bid 4 major. Okay, so here we've got 10 to 12 points with 3 card support. So playing the traditional way, you would bid 1 no trump forcing and then try and bid 3 spades later. The way I like to do it is just jump to the other major. So if we bid 3 hearts here, so 1 spade, 3 hearts, or 1 heart, 2 spades, if partner opens that. 3 spades would just be a sign-off. Other than that, 4 level bids would be Q bids, showing controls. Okay, and here we have 10 to 12 points with 4 card support. So here you can bid 3 diamonds, showing 4 card invite. Again, 3 spades would just be a sign-off, whereas if in this case we've got room for 3 hearts, this would just be a generic game try asking if you're minimum or maximum, because we can still stop in 3 spades. Anything beyond that, so 4 clubs, beyond 3 of our major, that is a Q bid showing control. Okay, so now we're getting into Jacoby 2 no trumps. So here, when we bid Jacoby 2 no trumps, the responses to this is we show shortages if we have them. So any new suit, so 3 clubs, 3 diamonds, 3 hearts, these all show a singleton or a void in the suit we actually bid. So we highlight our shortages after the 2 no trump response. If you're minimum and balanced, you can just jump to 4 of a major. This is like 11 to 15 balanced. If you're a little bit stronger than that, so sort of 15 to 17, you can bid 3 no trumps. And if you're 18, 19 balanced, you can bid 3 spades. So that's how you can show you the different balanced hands, and bidding at the 3 level is just a singleton or void. Okay, so here with 3 card support and a game force, we can start by bidding a new suit. And if partner, say, bids 2 no trumps, here we wouldn't be interested in game opposite that, so we could just jump to 4 spades. If we were a little bit stronger, which we will be on the next hand, where we might have some slam interest, probably don't on this particular hand, but I'll just highlight how we would bid this anyway. So after this, this would set spades and be slam trying. Any new suit from partner would be just AQ bid showing control. So they're the different responses that you can actually do over all the different bids. So this is how you play Bergen raises. We've got the initial raises, and we break them up into sort of 3 or 4 card support and the different point ranges available for us. And I'll just bring them up here. So these are the bids that you can actually do. You do want to discuss with your partner how you show the 3 card invitational raise. Do you want to put it through a forcing 1 no trump, or do you want to use to the jump to the other major bid to actually show that? I talked about the basic continuations to Jacoby 2 no trumps. There are other continuations that you can do that are more complex, but I think increase the accuracy a bit. So I won't highlight them today, but if you're interested, I'll post a link to another video where I actually do. So that's how I would bid all the hands. And again, just my ratings. We gave Bergen sort of 2 stars out of 5 for complexity, because it does use 3 clubs, 3 diamonds, jumping to the other major, and 2 no trumps, all as different raises, and there are some continuations to it, so a fair bit to remember, and trying to break them all up, but I think it's got quite decent accuracy there. Anyway, thanks all for watching. Hope you enjoyed this lesson on how to play Bergen raises, and we'll see you next time. Bye for now.